Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is a game where you can stab a man in the face. It's also the sequel to the popular Assassin's Creed 2, which was developed by Ubisoft Montreal and continues the Assassin's Creed legacy. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood begins where Assassin's Creed 2 ended, and quickly throws you into a fast-paced action scenario. What I keep seeing is people talking about how this game is just a multiplayer game, since it was marketed like that. It is not. No, really, it isn't. The multiplayer can be a lot of fun, especially with the innovative game types and the leveling system. The single player, however, can take you up to 20 hours if you're just going for the story missions, and there are a lot of side missions. Let's take this bit by bit. I don't have a graphics chime. This game looks a lot like its predecessor, Assassin's Creed 2. I wouldn't say the graphics improved, but the scenery sure as hell did. Seeing ruins in old Rome like the Colosseum is pretty cool. I enjoyed running, jumping, and climbing my way through Rome and its many locales. I noticed a fair amount of weapon clipping as a man who normally wields a great sword and constantly sees it go through a sweet cape. Being on a high point and looking across a landscape you just trek through is always a sight to see. The character models don't always look that great, and sometimes the faces make me forget they're Italian, but the cutscenes are always pleasurable enough. We don't have a gameplay chime either. The combat is almost the same as last time, but better. The AIs are much more aggressive, which means you aren't taunting and hoping they attack like the previous games. You can now see which enemy is going to attack when his health bar blinks. The new exciting feature is the execution streak. Basically, when you counter someone's attack and then jam on the attack button on another target, you'll perform your kill move on them. This will make combat move a lot quicker. You can do this to a lot of enemies. The assassination moves are still fun to perform and are pretty damn useful to start a fight with. Why fight 4 dudes off the bat when you can just simply jump off a roof and kill 2 instantly? The free running can feel fluid and fun. Climbing on top of rooftops and castles is a pretty amusing thing to do. The unfortunate part is where you have to platform your way through it. It isn't fun. Simple as that. When you screw up, you have to redo all of the previous platforming, and sometimes you don't even know what you did to fuck up. You hit the joystick in one direction, and your protagonist here jumps 10 feet away from where you wanted him to. Also, sometimes it is very hard to find where the fuck you're supposed to be going. Horse riding is mediocre at best. It's really useless, and the controls aren't even that hot either. I used a horse just to get to faraway places, unless I was in the city. It is fucking impossible to control a horse in the city. There are too many side missions to count, and the collectibles are plentiful. You have a variety of weapons at your disposal, ranging from a great axe to a crossbow. The story missions are awesome and can be somewhat cinematic. They are also full of variety and intense action. The only problem is the checkpointing. It can be awesome in some missions and non-existent in the other. Being stealthy is a bitch, and sometimes missions require you not to get noticed. I threw my controller a few times. Sound, pound, wound. God. I don't have a lot to say about the sound. The right way to play the game is to set the language to Italian and the subtitles to English. I think it fits the game way better, and it also further enhances the feeling of being in Rome. I like all the rambling the townspeople do and the eagle screeches you hear when you tell your dudes to kill a fool. I didn't really listen to the music all that much throughout the game, but when I did, there are a few scores that make me quite agitated. Derp economy. So in Assassin's Creed 2, you had your villa, where you could buy shops to make an income. Now think that, except replace the villa with all of Rome. You can buy banks, blacksmiths, tailors, etc. To do this, you have to have a sufficient amount of money, or florins, and have the Borgia Tower in that area eliminated. When bought, you will make a higher 20-minute income as well as being able to buy things from said shop. The thing I hate having to do is to run to the closest bank, which may not always be that close, to get your 20-minute income. Why not just put it straight into my pouch? The Assassin's Guild is a pretty important part of the game. You get access to it around 5 hours into the game through story missions. The Assassin's Guild is a nice add-on that gives the game more of a strategic type leveling system for your assassins, that you can get to join the guild by helping them kill cruel guards when they are just civilians. You can send your assassins on contracts, and you won't be able to call on them to help you kill fools while they are gone. Once you have your assassins, you can call them by hitting a simple button to assassinate people, or help you out in a fight. Said person has to be in lock-on range, but once they are, you can kiss them goodbye. Also, sometimes they come out of the sky. Awesome. As I had said before, this game picks up where the last one left off. After evacuating your previous location, you go straight into a new one, but one that is a familiar sight. The plot is well laid out and continues Ezio's story in a grand way with many cinematic-looking set pieces and story missions. The story missions themselves express the plot in an in-game and with cutscenes quite well, never leaving the player with a confused look on their face. Even if you were left like that, the game is simple enough. Stab dudes in the throat till you hit the credits. The characters are expressive and play the role. You even get a little info file on each important one you meet. This game hits everything an Assassin's Creed game should. It improved on the good parts of Assassin's Creed 2 and added the Assassin's Guild, which is awesome. There are only a few problems. One major one is the free running being somewhat annoying. The story and graphics are both above par, with cutscenes being a little lacking. This game deserves a 9 out of 10.